What's up everyone, this is Jacob, the Dungeon Master for Fractured Kingdom, here with a special video. You see, while our first episode on our YouTube channel was released in March, it was not actually our first game, it was our 23rd game. Our first session was actually back in August of 2021. We do have audio from some of our games before we started uploading onto YouTube. This video is the audio of Corvus's first, well technically second time meeting the wizard Alabaster Stein.
As this party heads over to the wizard's tower, it rises up taller than the keep itself. And as you all reach the side of it, you realize there aren't any doors or windows to it. This appears to be a entryless, whitish-grayish tower.
Or we're just gonna kind of look at Corvus.
Frustrated. Yeah. Corvus is gonna look at it very confused and frustrated.
Or we're just gonna randomly knock on the wall of the tower.
Ori just knocks on the side of the tower. After a moment, everyone hears a voice up above them say, "What business do you have with me?" As all of you look up, you see there's suddenly a balcony on the side of the tower, maybe 60 feet above you, and you see a elderly human man with long gray hair and a beard. It's hard to get many other details, but he's looking down at all of you. Corvus, you recognize the wizard.
Look at him and say, "I could ask the same question about you."
Oh, goodness.
The wizard looks down at you for a moment and says, "If you would like to talk, you may enter, but your companions may not."
Ori kind of bounces excitedly on the balls of her feet and kind of like pushes at Corvus's side, like, go.
Yes, and as you all look down, there's suddenly a doorway on the side of the tower which wasn't there before.
Corvus steps through the door.
Right, and as the door closes, we are going to stop here for the night. At this moment, it is Corvus who has just entered a wizard's tower alone. A tower he remembers from his earliest memory 2 years ago. And as the door automatically closes behind Corvus, the half-orc looks up to see bookshelves running all the way around the interior walls of the tower and rising up seemingly all the way to the top. Orbs of white light slowly float and drift in mid-air, lighting the myriad of books along with a spiral staircase that spirals upwards and is covered by a long burgundy carpet.
You can see the ceiling? Like if
you look
like
up, you do not see the ceiling.
Okay. And it's just the spiral staircase in the room?
Correct.
There's nobody else in the room? Do I see anybody?
Make a perception check.
Yo boy. Nope.
You do
Probably
not
not.
see anyone or anything else.
Okay. Then I start going up the staircase until someone stops me.
Corvus begins walking up the stairs. As he's climbing further up into the tower, he finally sees something moving up above him, and as he gets closer, he realizes that it is two animated hands that are created out of orange arcane energy. The smaller hand, about the size of a normal human hand, is putting away books, while the second one, which is much larger, almost 7 feet wide, appears to be holding up books that the little one is putting away. After Corvus notices them, he also notices a round platform up above him. He walks up to it, and he sees the wizard sitting in a lounge area. Looking around on the platform, besides the armchairs centered around a rug, there's also a small table and a chair. The table is covered with large tomes and notes. There's a suit of armor sitting on one side, holding a sword and shield with perfectly polished armor. Apart from that, there's not much else on the platform. The wizard, an older human man with long gray hair down to his shoulders and a gray beard, is wearing blue and silver robes. As he looks up towards Corvus, he says, "Have a seat."
Kate. And then move and sit there. But it's very cautious.
I'm afraid all I have for drink is tea.
I don't drink tea.
I assume not. Our last meeting ended before proper introductions could be made. I am Alabaster Stein.
Look at him and then say, I assume you know who I am?
Yes, Corvus, I do. I have been keeping some tabs on you.
Some questions. Or can I ask you some questions?
Yes, but first I would like to ask you a question. What do you remember?
Nothing. I remember the last 2 years of my life and nothing before that. I remember waking up in a strange tower and being told to run, so I ran. And that's it.
No other recollections?
I have strange dreams. Dreams of this place, I think. I remember being in a tower and surrounded by robed men. They gave me some kind of a magic wand, and I used it to summon a storm. But I don't know if that's a memory or just a dream.
Were they wearing green and white robes?
Let me check my notes. I did write this down. Yes. Yes, they were.
Alabaster nods, and then he asks, do you know how the Fracture Wars began?
Knowledge that everybody would know.
Sean started the biggest war, series of death and destruction the multiverse has ever seen, all by corrupting one single orc. That corruption did not end with the war. It's still being felt throughout the kingdom to this day. See, the Church and the Kingsmen try their best. They are too reactive to what's going on. But one day, by providence, I had an idea that might help. See, one day, when I was collecting alchemy supplies up north, I came across several dead orcs. Slaughtered scouting party from a northern clan. I checked for survivors, and their leader, the biggest and strongest orc I'd ever seen, was not dead, just on the brink of the serious injuries. I knew I could save him, but I had a thought. What if one orc could undo all that evil that was created so many years ago? I took the orc into my tower. I began an arcane infusion with my blood so that he may survive his injuries, with my mind so that he may develop some of my good nature and intellect. Unfortunately, the process was interrupted. A party of orcs broke through my tower's defenses. And when the orc woke up, he was no longer an orc, but a half-orc. I helped him escape, that he may live, prove himself out in the world. Like I said, I kept tabs on this now half-orc. And I waited for him to approach me, because I knew one day he would.
Me?
Yes, you.
What else did you do to me?
What else? Nothing else, at least not yet. You see, you came at a very opportune time. You want to hear what I have to propose? The wizard looks at Corvus, waiting for an answer.
I don't know if my microphone didn't pick it up or not, but yes, I do want to hear.
Then follow me. Alabaster Stein stands up, begins walking over towards the spiral staircase, and begins walking upward. Corvus follows the wizard up the spiral staircase. It is quite a long walk, as the tower appears to be somehow even taller on the inside through a strange enchantment. However, eventually Corvus and Alabaster reach the top of the staircase, It leads to a second platform. On this platform, another standing suit of armor sits in decoration next to a few dressers and tables filled with more alchemy supplies and notes. A few dressers and wardrobes sit along one wall, but what's most interesting is in the center of the room is a bed, and lying on the bed is Alabaster Stein. A second Alabaster Stein.
Look at the standing one, and then the one that's laying down, and then the one back to the one that's standing, and just say, how is this possible?
See, while I am Alabaster Stein, I'm not the Alabaster Stein. I am a simulacrum, a magical duplicate. The Alabaster Stein is dying. But before he dies, he wanted to find a way to give all of his years of knowledge and wisdom out to the world, so that many will learn from his mistakes, his magical discoveries. And with you here, Corvus, I do believe that that knowledge can be given to you. Corvus looks over, he sees now the skin on the Alabaster Stein in bed. It's a very pale color, and he does indeed look to be sick with some ailment.
The one that is standing and say, can he be saved?
I am afraid not. Theoretically, yes, but I'm afraid time is not on his side. However, what it sounds like you told me, that was not a memory from your past. That was a memory from my past. You see, when I saved you 2 years ago, it appears your mind did take in some of my knowledge. All of it is already there, inside your mind. We just need to find a way to unlock it.
To stand right in front of the wizard that is standing, the standing Alabaster, and say, you saved my life. I will do whatever you ask.
Alabaster nods and says, I am very grateful. Now, believe me, no magic is without risk, and while this next ritual will not be as complicated as the first, it will still take some weeks to gather the necessary resources. So in the meantime, try not to get into any life-threatening events or danger. Although a man of your caliber, as he looks you up and down, probably does not have much to fear.
Out kind of like a low chuckle and say, I have been in many life-threatening situations over the past several weeks, and I feel like there are many more to come.
Well, hopefully my knowledge will be able to help you with those challenges that cannot be solved by your strength. Do you have any other question?
That you needed me. Do you need my assistance in gathering ingredients for this ritual?
No, but if I do require your assistance, I will let you know. I will keep in touch.
I understand.
If I do require your assistance, I will let you know. Now, it's best to let him get some rest. As the simulacrum begins walking down the stairs.
We'll follow him. Let's take one last look at the Alabaster that is lying on the bed, and then follow him down the stairs.
You do see the one in bed slowly tries to turn his head to look over towards you, but he isn't quite able to turn his head over all the way. As you walk back down the stairs, you're only walking for maybe 3 minutes until you get to the bottom of the stairs. You apparently skipped part of the tower, possibly?
Fascinating. So is he kind of like leading me out of the tower at this point?
Yes.
Okay. Before he leaves the tower, Corvus is gonna turn to the simulacrum and just say, before I go, is there anything else you can tell me about my past, who I am, where I came from?
Believe me, I have tried looking up information about your past, but I'm afraid the northern clans do not keep a lot of their history books. But you were a war master of a clan. A fairly large one, from what I understand.
The answers that I seek are in the north.
Possibly. But with this ritual, it may unlock your previous memories too from before we met. It may be a quicker way to answers than trying to venture all the way to the wildland.
Then he's going to say to him, I will wait for your call, and then, turn and leave the tower, unless there's anything else that, he wants to say.
He nods and holds a hand out towards the door, which the door then magically opens on its own.
Then he'll leave the tower.
The door that appeared in the wizard's tower opens up, and Corvus walks out.
Hey, Corvus, are you alright? What happened?
Learned something about myself.
What did you learn?
It seems I used to be the leader of a barbarian tribe in the north, and I was almost killed in a battle, but the wizard who inhabits this tower found me, and he saved my life. And in return, he wants to pass his knowledge onto me, and in turn, onto the world. And I don't know when, but he's going to call upon me for help. And I have to help him.
Well, and that explains why those other barbarians were talking about, their leader and saying you're not who you were, or whatever. You need our help?
I you, but I would ask for your help if I need it.
Well, if you need it, all you have to do is say the word.
Corvus is just going to put a hand on Ash's shoulder and nod, give him a nod.
I nod right back.